Hello, my friends. Welcome to my country farmhouse. I'm Marnay, as most of you know. And since my last video, I've talked about the Carpenter star. So I'm going to talk about this one here behind me because I told you about this one in my last video. That this is my mother-in-law's Carpenter star, and it is the double Carpenter star, and we just quilted it for her. So I thought this would be something really interesting for you all to see because we all like to see other people's work because we like to get inspired. So this is beautiful. It's big, and I think she's giving this away to her nephew. But we did put a cloud on here with the butterflies in it, and I actually did this same pattern on my dress quilt, which most of you know. I didn't show that in my last video because it was in the queue, but it is now quilted as well. But this is a really nice pattern. It has butterflies in it, and I believe there's some flower. Yeah, there's a flower in here as well. But what I love about her quilt and this Carpenter star is all of her fabrics are non-directional. And I had used directional fabrics in mine. So you can see the difference in what she did. And I do believe that this was a free pattern from Jordan Fabrics, if I'm not mistaken, where she'd gotten it. But she said she got it online. She did do these really neat half square triangles, and it looks like they were small ones, and she put them together and stacked them so they made this wonderful zigzag pattern on this, so it really makes it stand out. So I really wanted to show you this. The backing that she chose was this blue. This came from Sheet So Creative, and this has butterflies on the back, so it kind of fits the pattern that we put on it. But just a really, really nice quilt that I wanted to show you right off since the last video. So in my last video, I had also mentioned that I went to Lancaster for the Lancaster Quilt Show, and it was awesome. And I do have a little clip in that I took in Amish country while we were quilt shopping around. But we did go to the quilt show on last Wednesday. I'm a little hoarse because I think I've caught something, I don't know. So I'm dealing with that, so I sound a little horsey. But I got a lot of wonderful things I would like to show you that I got in Lancaster. And I don't know where to start. Anyway, I was all excited. We went to the quilt show, and we checked out all the things down there, a lot of vendors, a lot of beautiful quilts. I didn't really take any pictures. I don't know why. We had Tilly, we had him in the stroller, and we just met a lot of different people. We got there kind of late, and we stayed there until it closed. So it was really fun. So we didn't know if we wanted to stay just one night or if we wanted to stay two. So we figured we'd decide after that because Jim had a friend down there who we ended up hooking up with and having dinner with. But so we went to the quilt show, and then we got a room later on. And then we went to the Shady Maple. And if any of you all have been down to Lancaster, you know about the Shady Maple. It is a Amish or Mennonite restaurant that is like a humongous buffet. And I'm no fan of buffet restaurants. I hate buffets. But this place was amazing because they have your choice of everything you could ever want to eat for one price. You eat till you're full with desserts and ice cream and all kinds of food and salad. I ended up having a salad because it was great. But it was just a really great place. And if you haven't ever been there, you need to check it out. I also went downstairs in the gift shop this time because the last time I went down 2 years ago, I didn't get to go to the gift shop because it was closed. But I did end up buying me a Jeep hoodie, which I really love. Don't have it on today, but maybe sometime. So I was so excited to get home, and we didn't stay the extra day. We ended up going out to dinner after we went to all the quilt shops and had dinner with Jim and I, our friend Lance and Heidi and their son. And we had a really nice dinner, and it was like 9 o'clock, and we're only a 3-hour drive, so we decided to come home. And I got all kinds of cool fabrics, and I thought, I want to go home and sew. But you know what I did when I got home? I come out here and I pulled something off my shelf that I had pulled off before I left, and I made a quilt. And I gotta show it to you. So I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna put it up. And also my little sister here, she is here, and she has made a quilt as well that she's been working on. And I'd like to show you that one as well. So yeah, let me get those quilts up and then we'll go into the good stuff. All right, my friends, this here is what I put together when I got back from Lancaster, and I couldn't resist. This was a small panel that had been rescued from my fire from last year when my house burnt. And in the rubble, you know, of course, we found lots of fabric and we saved some things. And Jim and I were talking about this earlier before I was making this quilt, you know, about washing all the fabrics and everything. And he'd said to me, you know what, why I wanted you to wash all them fabrics. And I'm like, well, to save them, of course, you know. And he's like, no, to give you hope. And I like, wow, that really went right here. But this is a part of my life back, is this little quilt. Even though it doesn't seem like much, and it does have some smoke staining in it, and all of the fabrics on this quilt, except for the white, came out of that fire because I had them all together, because I had this thing for a few years and I never got around to make it, and I always wanted to make it because we have chickens and I just love the little adorable girl. And I finally pulled it off my shelf before I went to the quilt show. And when I came back, instead of delving into all those new pretty fabrics that I got, I wanted to put this together because I thought I've wasted enough time. It was spared and I love it. I absolutely love it. So what this panel is, it's a cheater panel. And these little things in here that look like they're pieced, or these appliques, they're not really appliques, they're just a cheater print. Even when Jim was putting this on the quilter for me as we were loading it, he was like, look at you go. And I'm like, I didn't do that. So that's part of the print on the panel. I said, it's a cheater one. But I did cut off the green borders that were next to where this peach color is. This is where the green borders were. So I cut these off and I set them aside, and I added in the peach border and then a little bit of red, and then I went around with the green, and then I added these little half square triangles, and then I added a 9 patch of little half square triangles in the corners, which really gave it some nice interest. So after I did that, I went around with the white to kind of close that off, and somebody had mailed us in a quilt, and as I was looking at her quilts, she had like these corners, and they were just squares, and you sew them diagonally and you flipped them up, and I thought, I love that look. Who would have thought? I wouldn't have thought of something like that. Maybe you all, you know, maybe if you've done it, I don't know, but it just was something new to me and I loved it. So I incorporated a little bit of that leftover green into the corners of the white border inside. And then of course her little apron here that she has on, I took a little bit of the white and red and made this little 9 patch, and I wanted to put it on point, but I really didn't quite know how to do it, but I went back to the old way, and I know a lot of you still watch the video of the square and the square, where you're sandwiching a fabric block of the same size of your, you know, whatever your block you're trying to frame around, and you put an X on the back of it, and you sew it all the way around, and then you cut on that X, you know, both ways, but don't cut it past the seams, and then you open it up like a flower, and you end up getting these corners. So the points are rounded off, so I know a lot of people don't like to lose their points, but this was just something I wanted to put in here. I just wanted to finish this, and I think it looks amazing. And I would put it all the way around in the middle of all the sides, because it just kind of pulls the red out of her dress and everything. And then of course I added another border of this flower with a red in it that matched these little pieces that I pieced, and then of course I binded it in this leftover red, and there was a little bit of that there was a little bit of that red left over. I am so hoarse, I'm sorry. So I binded it in the red, which I love. I just love it. There is some discoloration and smoke staining, and there's a little smoke up there in that corner, and there's a little bit down here. I don't care. This is something that is a part of me that I got back from a horrible disaster, you know, and it just means so much to me. And I just love it, and I just wanted to show it all to you. So I had some pieces for a backing, so these were large pieces that were given to me. So I put on this brown backing, and I put a chicken wire quilting on this. And my original thought was maybe to put some chickens on it. But as I was looking in the patterns, I found the chicken wire, and I'm like, oh, it makes perfect sense. You know, she's feeding the chickens are usually behind chicken wire, at least mine are. But yeah, so I just loved it. So I quilted this myself. Jim helped me set it up on the quilter, and I ran it, and it went really fast, because this isn't a very big quilt, but I'm just going to put it on the back of my couch because I just love it, and it's very farmhousey. And I'm still trying to achieve that cozy, comfortable farmhouse feel that my home had, you know, which the new home has it, but it's just not the same, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so this panel also came with a cute little label. So I put this on the back, and I have the little chicken on it, and it's in the peach. And down here in the bottom, it says cover story, and the name of the panel was Here Chick Chick. And I thought, this quilt has a story, and I thought, I'm going to put the story on this label. So someday, you know, if this gets passed on to somebody else, they'll know the story of this quilt. And what I wrote on this label is the panel and fabric of this quilt was rescued from the rubble of our January 24th, 2024 farmhouse fire. A total loss, including 3 pets. And then I put Marnie and Jim Fee, 2025. So this quilt very much has a story. It's adorable, and I love it, and I'm thankful that I still have it. So I'm going to get on, and I'm going to show you the next quilt. I've only got a couple to show you today. But my sister Glenda had been working on a quilt for quite some time, and I'd helped her get her quilt finished up too. And I think it's worth showing. So hold on, I'll get that up, and we'll get right back. Okay, this is Glenda's quilt. Now I know this seems like a little odd for maybe some of you out there that, you know, this is not very traditional, but this is Glenda's style. Glenda likes to watch the Vampire Diaries and the Witches of East End, and she likes all that stuff. And I had found this panel actually at a quilt store called The Witch's Stitches, which reminds me of a lady we met in Lancaster. What did I say her Jeep was? Stitch Witch. No, it wasn't Stitch Witch. I don't know. I have her business card. I'll get to that one later, but it was really cool. But we have a quilt shop nearby here that's called The Witch's Stitches. And I remember we were in there, I think it was last year, and it was close to Halloween. And they had this panel hanging on the wall. And I was like, Glenda, that is you. And she looked over and she's like, oh my God. And I was like, I'll get it for you. So I bought her this panel. And she had some other fabrics with some birds in it and clouds, and just reminds her of her style, you know, of what she likes, you know. So I think it's very cool. So we quilted this up for her, and we put like these star, and it's got like some swirls in it, or like shooting star kind of thing, I don't know. But I thought it fit her little star border that she had in here, which is kind of like, it almost has the metallic look in it. So it makes it very bright, but it is kind of a very dark quilt. But anyway, she didn't have a back for it, and I have a bunch of backs that people have sent and give me, and I just got them all stacked up. But I found a piece in there, over there, and it was almost like this velour. It's not velvet, it's not minky, but it's very soft. And it was just big enough to do this quilt for her. So I was like, Glenda, I think this will work. I was like, if you take this outside, or she's sitting out, you know, going to the fireworks or campfire, this will be very warm on her skin and very soft, because we all like a good warm quilt. So, and she actually put her own little tag on here too. She made a little heart. I've been putting tags on quilts for the quilt show, because that's one of the last things I gotta do. But she decided to put one on hers, because I said it's a good idea to put a label on a quilt, even though I hate it because it requires hand sewing, and I hate to hand sew. But I've used some t-shirt stabilizer, and I sew it around my quilt label, and then I cut a hole in the back, and then I flip it out so I don't have any raw edges, and then I press it onto the back of my quilt so it stays in place. And then I can easily, I don't know, I can't say easily, it's hard. I don't like hand sewing. But I did stitch around my labels, and I think I have one more label to go and one more binding to go. I still got to bind the dress quilt, and that has a label already on it because I sewed it on with my sewing machine before I quilted it, so I didn't have to, because it's a big label. But you'll see that sometime later on. But anyway, very cute idea, you know, even if it's something small like this, you know, this little heart, she just put Glenda 2025 because that's when she made it. So just a very nice quilt. You know, Glenda's come a long ways in quilting, and I'm so proud of her and so proud of her quilt, and she just loves it. So I'm going to get on, and I'm going to show you what I got at the Lancaster quilt shops in Lancaster, PA. Amazing shops. I did refrain myself. But it was fun. So hang on, and then we'll move you over that, and I'll show you what else we got. I got quite a pile here. But before I get started on showing you what I got in the pile and what I got for ideas, I just want to send out a special thank you for this box. My friend Erin and Todd from Sheet So Creative was here the other day, actually on Sunday. and Erin and I had a little sewing day. So when her and Todd come into the studio, they brought me over this little box with my name on it, and they said a customer had brought it to their shop for me. I thought, what could that be, you know? And I know in my past videos, I think I had mentioned some things, you know, about losing a lot of quilts, and I've lost my favorite, and it had a panel on it, and I can't get that panel no more. I even called Riley Blake and tried to see if I could, you know, they had an extra one or something, you know. I mean, a couple people had them for sale on eBay, and they wanted a ridiculous price for them, and I thought, it just doesn't make any sense to me, but whoever this person was very generous. And I have to say, this just about brought tears to my eyes. I have another She Who Sews panel, and I cannot say thank you enough, because this panel that I made a quilt out of this panel before my home had burned, and this was my favorite quilt. This was my quilt, my personal quilt that I would take to like sewing retreats, or, you know, if I went and traveled somewhere. This was mine, and I loved her. And I know that I now have the press-on girl with the ironing board and stuff, and I'm really excited to make that. But I'm excited to make this, recreate this quilt, I guess I should say. Another friend of mine from my local quilt guild had given me a while back, she had given me a layer cake with all the She Who Sews colors of the fabrics that I can rebuild and make her very similar to the one that I had lost. I don't think I'm going to make the same one. I have some different ideas. When I say that I'm going to recreate a lot of quilts that I had lost, I want to make them a little bit different, because this is a different situation, different time, and I just have new, refreshed ideas of what I would like to recreate that I had lost. So whoever sent me this box, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because that meant the world to me. So I just want you to know that I'm very thankful that you sacrificed your panel for me. That was very nice of you. So, on to what I got. The first place we went to, and I do have a video clip from this place that we went to. Ugh. My eyes are getting myself all emotional here. The first place we went to, I did do a little video on this beautiful farm that we came upon, because I didn't know what quilt shops we were going to. I just looked on the internet and I just wrote down a bunch of addresses and quilt shops, and we just started driving around Lancaster. It was amazing and it was fun. So the first place we came to, I did a little video on, but I wouldn't go into any of the stores and video, because I don't think that people feel comfortable with that. But the outside of this place was beautiful, and there was a Amish buggy outside, and I kind of did a little filming of that, so maybe Jim can throw that in there so you can see it. But when we went inside, they had all of these homemade items made by Amish women, and it was amazing. There was just so much in there, and it was so beautiful. But Jim found this little pot holder, and I thought, this is really fun to maybe kind of recreate this, because this is a little pair of jeans, but you can fold it in half to grab a hold of a hot pan, or, you know, a handle or something, because I cook with cast iron. So I thought these were really cute, and it's just denim fabric, and they just made a little seam where they, you know, so it's easier to fold. The little pocket on the back with a little hanky out of it, and a little patch, the waistband, and the legs. And I thought, this is adorable. I can make this. I'm very visual, and I think this would be a fun little thing to make. And I actually have a whole bunch of denim fabric that somebody had given me, so I'm thinking I'm gonna try this. So maybe you'll see this in a future video. I just thought this was adorable. And Jim, he was walking around and he found this cute little wallet, and it had Sunbonnet Sue on it. And I just love Sunbonnet Sue. I actually have a book that somebody had sent me with a bunch of Sunbonnet Sues to make appliques, and that's going to be on my bucket list of making a quilt, is a Sunbonnet Sue. But I thought she's so adorable, and she looks like she's sitting reading a book. And I'm not usually a fan of the zippers, but this one has a nice big zipper on it, and it looks very durable. So the inside has nice little pockets and a zip for your change and to keep your stash in. So I just thought that was a really cool thing. So that's what we got at that. And I don't remember the name of these shops, because I think we had almost a dozen of them. So it was just crazy. So a lot of this stuff is going to be random. When we were at the quilt show, that's where I should get. I first stand that I bought something from, I don't remember who she was, and I don't think her name is on here. But I found this pattern, and it's chickens. And I've got chicken patterns. I've got several here. But this one has a heart in the middle of the chicken. And this lady had a quilt top displayed in her booth. And it had all these chickens, except they were rows of chickens. And then she had some sashing with some little squares in them. And they were all different colors. And then she had hearts in the top left corner of her border and then the bottom right of her border. And she let me take a picture of it. It's gorgeous. So I'm like, oh my God, I gotta make that. I thought, I'm a chicken girl, you know, but I'm like, I've got several patterns, but I really like this one and it seems really easy. And this is a poppy cotton, a forget-me-not pattern, and it's called chicken, well, this is a chicken love pillow. She had a chicken, the one for the chicken quilt, but it was a couple dollars more, and I thought, all I need is the chicken. I don't need the pattern because I don't want to be a cookie cutter. I want to make these chickens, but I have my own vision. So this is something that's probably going to be coming up. So I did buy a fabric bundle from her as well. And I think it is all of these colors to make colorful chickens. Of course, you know, when I went around to a lot of other shops, I found a lot of other colors in fat quarters. And some of the things that I found for chickens, I'll just go through some of these colors. These are some bigger prints because she had very vibrant chickens on her quilt top. So anything that looked like big and floral and maybe some of the smaller prints I could use for the hearts, these colors go together. So there was a lot of fat quarters that I picked up for that pattern. And I also picked up some other ones. I bought these stars for Glenda. She likes the moon and the stars and everything that's dark. So I did that for her. Hello, hubby. Hello.
What are you doing?
I'm showing off my Lancaster stuff. See, he sounds kind of hoarse too because we both caught something while we were down there. I'm hoarse, and I don't know if you're too hoarsey, but my voice is like, I can feel it. Got some vitamin C in you? Don't worry, it's not contagious through your TV, so we won't make you sick, but...
So you're showing all your finds?
Yes, I found this little fat quarter. I love the wispies.
This woman drugged me.
I know. He was a saint. Believe me, you all.
10 fabric stores in
saint.
4 hours.
How many of your husbands would lead you around fabric stores and let you shop for fabric? It was so fun, and I am so grateful and thankful to you, Jim, that you tolerated. We took our niece Lexi with us too.
Keep going.
Oh, you like me to boost you up?
Keep going.
How many of your husbands are good as this guy? Yeah, he's getting a big head. Excuse me. And while we were down there, I even ran into a few subscribers. Who was the lady with the Jeep? Was it the Stitch?
Which?
Oh.
And she had a purple Jeep. Oh my God.
Her Jeep
beautiful.
had something
wait a minute.
witch on it.
Something witch, yeah. I got her card. Here it is. Oh,
Wicked
the Wicked
Stitches.
Stitch. Wicked Stitch. I'm going to give you a shout out, Wicked Stitch. Her Jeep was awesome. You got to check out her website. I haven't checked it out yet. But, yeah, what is her website? I'm pretty sure she can follow her on Facebook and Instagram.
Cindy'sWickedStitch.com.
Cindy'sWickedStitch.com. Check her out.
I think she's a fabric store, but I'm not 100%.
I'm not sure. I haven't checked it out yet either because I've been busy doing other things. But she was awesome, and she was there with a couple of friends, and one of her friends watches our channel, and the other two said that they would tune in too. So Cindy from the Wicked Stitch, you were awesome, and I love your Jeep, and I'm going to give you a shout out to anybody I know to check out your website. She was a cool lady. So I'm hanging on to that.
Did you show the pot holder?
Yes, I showed the pot holder. And
that was the one thing I bought. Yeah. I love that pot holder.
We're going to make these. I know he wanted me to leave it in the house so he could start using it. And I'm like, I got to make a copy of this or something. So I got to take measurements. Two. Yeah, because I want to make these. These would be so fun. And if y'all want to make these, let me know because we'll do a little sew along video. This should be fast and fun and a cute pot holder. Who don't love a little pair of jeans? It was so cool. So, yeah, some more fat quarters, polka dots. I'm a polka dot girl. I love polka dots. I got the little wispies. I actually gave one of these to Glenda, too. I bought 2 of them. I'm like, I really like one of those, too. So I kept one. I got 2 of these. These are like the little canning jar fabric. I thought this would make the cutest apron. All you need is a couple fat quarters to make a half apron. So I know I've got a lot of things I want to do, and I just, no time to get to them, it seems. This I thought would make great pot holders with the baking, all the sweets. I'm a sweet girl and I love me some baked goods. So those were all my fat quarters. Oh, I gotta show you. Glenda stayed here and she watched the dogs in the house and fed the chickens and the goats while we were gone. So I had to reward her with some fabric.
That was such a bad...
Jim shamed her because he said she was a bad babysitter because a tree had fell in our chicken coop and fell on our fence and all the chickens got out. And what else did he say? Dozer was good.
No, Dozer ate the banana.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. I said to Glenda when we left, I was like, the studio here is yours. Have fun, utilize it. I said, but don't let Dozer chew up Tilly's toys. His chicken, that I'm sure you've heard in the last video, and he was honking that thing, and his banana.
Where's the other one?
This is one of his favorite toys, is a banana. I had to buy him a new one because Dozer.
Because this is what happened to the other one.
This is what happened when you leave a pit bull, you know,
So
and not
I was a
watching.
bad house sitter.
He ripped his head off, so I had to buy Tilly another one yesterday at Walmart, and he was tickled that he got a new banana. So a few mishaps that we had in here, but oh my gosh, it's all in fun. You know, nothing disastrous happened. But this is what I found for her. And 2 years ago, I had gotten you the Minky with bunnies on it, and actually I got two of them, one with mice on it, and the other one with the bunnies, and she picked the bunnies. And I couldn't find anything that she liked. I mean, because it's Lancaster, and they just don't have all that, you know, that stuff that she likes. So I was like, I know she likes bunnies, and she's a farmer's daughter. So it's got a little barn with silos on the bottom. It's got the bunny. Actually, it's got two bunnies on it. I can't hold this up very good, but it's really cute. And then you've got a couple little birds at the top. And I said, you can have something fun and make something really pretty for yourself out of that panel. Yeah, she loves it. So I can't wait to see what she does with that. And also, where I got that, the lady gave me a free gift. She gave me some scissors. So I got plenty of scissors that a lot of people had sent. So I'm going to give these to Glenda because I said, you can always use scissors. And of course, she's got the wispy fat quarter. And this fabric here, the mother of all fabric stores that we found down there was called Burkholder's. And holy cow, was that place busy. And a lot of women from the quilt show were there while we were there. And it was crowded. People had carts everywhere. Everybody was trying to shop. They had a 25% off if you bought a yard or more of fabric. So I found this for Glenda to go with her bunny panel. And this has the bunnies on it. And it has a lot of gardening baskets. Looks like little beehives. The mortar and pesto, herbs, the gardeny kind of thing. So I thought that would really look nice with the bunny rabbit fabrics. I can't wait to see what she comes up with that. Also at Burkholder's, I found a book. Can't resist books, and I can't resist anything that's piecing. So this is called Autumn Breeze, and it's an art to heart. And this has owls on it, sunflowers. I love the fox. That's what really caught my eye with it. It has 3 different leaves. The crow, which I've got several crows. And there's some more ideas on the back. There's acorns. So, I mean, some of these patterns I do have. Like I have the Lori Holt pumpkins and things, but I really like the fox. And I have some fox fabric that I bought from Erin not too long ago. And that just gives me all kinds of ideas because I can never have too many resources for stuff that I like and I like to piece. So, Jim, you know, he goes around and tells everybody, you know, everybody's getting a quilt. The dogs have a quilt. You don't know who don't have a quilt? This guy. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So when we were in Burkholder's, the first fabric I found, I really liked this, but I didn't know what I would do with it. And Jim and Lexi were both like, just buy it, just buy it. This looks like old barn board, and it has these lanterns on it. And I just love it because I'm a country girl, and I like rustic, and they're upside down. I just thought these were beautiful. So I put it in my cart. Well, then I got looking and I found this. And this has all the cowboy stuff with the hats, the rope, the guns, the stirrups, gloves, boots, you know, the whole thing. Jim is like my cowboy. And so I thought, I know what I'm going to do for him for a quilt. And I've got to get on this. Jim is going to get his quilt. very, very soon. I have to get on it. So I'm going to make him a cowboy quilt. So I got a little bit of this barbed wire. It's navy. I like the color. I wanted to keep it very manly for him. Jim also always carries a hanky in his pocket, so I thought this was very fitting for his quilt as well. And of course, I got some other fabrics on my shelf that has cowboy stuff, and I'm going to go through some of those and put him together a nice Western kind of cowboy quilt, if I could talk right. And I think, I know the last one I made that he loved, that we lost, and it had a flannel backing on it. So I think this will be very fitting to put a flannel backing on this. And his request was to make it long enough to cover his feet when he's in his recliner. So I'm like, I'm gonna do that. So you'll probably be in tune with that. So another fabric I found, I bought the rest of what this, I don't remember what shop this was in. This wasn't Burkholder's. But I found this fabric, and it has sheep on it, and what I like to refer to as baby Gilbert's, my Gilbert goat. He looked just like that baby goat when he was little. He was so cute, and I used to go out after work and pick him up every day and bring him in the house. So, I don't know, I think I'd mentioned before that I wanted to make the Corey Yoder sheep quilt. Well, I got a copy of it, and this is the sheep quilt, and I want to make this. So this fabric here is going to be my borders in the quilt. And also, I had talked to a friend that had did this quilt, and she had done her sheep faces in flannel. Well, I got black velvet, and I want to make the sheep's face in black velvet, and I want to make the sheep's body in flannel, and then maybe the star in the borders in cotton. So that's going to be a very interesting quilt, so stay tuned for that one. So also I picked up a panel, and I actually gave my friend Marlene some of this, and this was a kitty panel, and it has all these cats on it. And my niece's daughter, I'd like to redo her another quilt that I'd made years ago before we actually got a real long arm. We had the midi arm, and I'd made her a quilt for her graduation, which I know she loves, but I'd really like to make her something maybe a little more special. And I was talking to her, my niece, and she said that she likes coffee and books and cats. So I think I'm going to do this somehow in some of these cute little cats, but I gave some of them to my friend Marlene, and I thought maybe she would have some fun with some of these, you know, like with the cat, with the mouse in the pot, like he's going to cook dinner. The cat that spilled the beans. There's cat selfies. There is Crook's Guide to Theft 3, and it's got a cat with a bag on its head. And then there's a cat in here. Oh yeah, this one's cute. There's a cat in a litter box reading a newspaper. I'm like, oh my God, these are just hilarious. How to live with an idiot. Dogs. So anyway, that's just a fun thing that I'll probably do in the sometime in the future. Also found some acorn fabric, very country, fallish, makes a great fall quilt. I like to have stuff like that on hand. This one I couldn't resist because it's green and it was delicate, and it was on sale. I think it was a clearance fabric. So Flower to Flower by Jill Finley. I don't know, really, really pretty fabric. I was just drawn to it. This fabric here, I bought the rest of what was on the bowl. It's corn. Corn, like for a corn cob. Now y'all know I made the crows and the corn, and I wish I would have had some of this fabric to put in my corn, inside my corn husk, so it would have looked like actual corn. So if I ever do corn again, I've got corn kernels to make that. So I just thought that was fun. And, you know, my neighbors, I was telling them, because we do a lot of piecing together, and I thought if she ever needs a piece of corn, or you know, corn fabric for making a corn cob, that would be really fun. At the quilt show, I picked this up. And this is things quilters really think for, I think. So it has all these cute little quilty sayings on it. And I thought these would be great. Or even on the backs of quilts, like, you know, when you make a label, you could put one of these little sayings in there. And, you know, and just some, for example, some of them. I've never made a quilt I never met a fabric I didn't like. The whole 9 yards. A quilter and her money are soon parted. These are just some of the little fabric sayings on them. Sew and your friends sew with you, rip and you rip alone. Oh, this one's cute. Fabric Fondlers Anonymous, Acquisition Committee. I mean, they're just some really fun sayings, but I thought that would be fun to have for something. Oh, and on to the next. You know, I've told you all about, I'm going to do another Tilda girl quilt. I really want to redo the Tilda hen house. That was my first Tilda quilt. It was amazing. I know a lot of you had saw it and you're asking for another Tilda quilt, but I would really like to rebuild that quilt, and I've said that probably half a dozen times. But this time I'm going to do it differently than what I did before. So all of the chicken hen houses I want to do in a different colored wood for each individual chicken house, and I want to do the chickens in different colors. And I'm thinking about framing them out all individually too. I don't know. I'm going to do something different with that quilt, so it won't be the same as last time. But I got the blue barn board, and I got some of this brown. It has like hues of yellow in it. I've got a green and cream kind of color barn board. And here's some brown with like a hintage of bluish gray. So, and I have a few other barn board colors on my shelf, like some reds and red and gray. So I have enough to play with to make each chicken coop individually. And I would really like to do something different with that quilt. Like I said, when I recreate quilts, I don't want to make them the same as before. They will be something a little bit different and maybe a little more interesting. So my head is always spinning for ideas. So here's some more polka dot fabric. I love polka dots. It doesn't matter. I don't discriminate when it comes to polka dots. Love my coffee cup fabric. This was just very colorful. Get it right side up so you can see it. You could mix and match a lot of different fabrics in this and make something really fun. I think I only got like a half a yard, but I like little pieces. Usually when I buy fabric, I don't buy a whole lot of it because I like to mix it up. I don't know, maybe I'm a weirdo, but this was cute. This I bought for a couple of my friends. It's for owls because we did do the row by row. My friend, my neighbor, and my other neighbor did a row by row with owls in it, and I wanted to give them a little something to remind them of the owls if they ever do something with owls again. But this has little sayings on it. Life is a hoot. I will always love you. Hoot if you love me. What a cute little piece of fabric. So I thought that was really fun. So if we do something with owls. This green was a clearance fabric. It was just really pretty. And this goes with this fabric here. Like if I ever do something for a little kid, I got a yard of this. And it really goes nice with that green. So they were just something I picked up. This one was on a Mennonite. It was on clearance. It was just a remnant. So I like the delicate flowers. It'd be cute in a Tilda dress. And then, of course, I got my mother-in-law some fabric she wanted for her next Carpenter star quilt. But I got an extra yard because it was the end of the bolt, so I took the extra yard so she didn't have to pay for it. And I really love green, so I couldn't resist. So that is pretty much the extent of my fabric shopping, although we did come home with a Jeep load of stuff. Lexi bought a lot of stuff because my niece Lexi just turned sweet 16. Happy birthday, Lexi. I told her to celebrate all week long or all month long. You know, when you have your birthday, you got to celebrate. I was like, you know, you're not ever going to be 16 again, so enjoy it. So, but she likes to sew, and we got her lots of fun things for her to play with. She likes to go to her grandmother's, my mother-in-law's, and sew with her, and it's really wonderful. There she is. I'm going to bring you in just a little bit. I did the same quilting on this quilt as I did for Emma's quilt on the Carpenter Star. I did the butterfly with the clouds, and it has little flowers in it. But you really don't see it on this quilt because I didn't want to use a dark thread. I didn't want it to take away from my dresses or anything like that. So I was telling you last time when I did a little mini show that you had to see the back for this. The back, I feel like it's just this is a very feminine quilt, but this is what I chose for the back. And you can see that my dress label is on the back of this as well. And I put my name, that it's vintage dresses, and then it was quilted by Country Farmhouse Quilting. So I actually sewed that all the way around on my back before I quilted it, which was very smart of me because I can't ever remember, I guess, to get my label sewed under the back before it gets quilted. Because usually when Jim wants to get these things loaded, we got to do it right now. No waiting around, you know. So I guess I'm not ever prepared because my squirrels are running loose. So anyway, this turned out great. When I got it on the quilter, I about had a meltdown because I found an open seam on it, and it wasn't pretty, and the quilter didn't go over it to kind of help close it off, so I kind of stitched it closed, but I'm feeling like I'm going to have to put an applique on here because I'm not good at hand sewing, and I can't make that seam look good. I mean, I have a friend that maybe could help me, but I thought about maybe just putting a little applique on it or something. I'm not sure, but that's something that's going to need mending on it. And also on these hats, I would really like to put like a yo-yo or some kind of a button in the middle of these hats just to kind of really set this off. This quilt I'm very proud of. I've even had somebody offer to buy it. Want me to sell it to them. Yeah, they wanted to buy it. I don't really want to sell any of my quilts. I love them. This was some work, but it wasn't. I mean, to me it wasn't, but I don't know. I do love it. I really love the quilting on it, and it really, all this needs is binding and figuring out how to fix my little open seam. So any suggestions, I would love to hear them, even though I don't hand sew. I'm not a good hand sewer, but I did do pretty well with my labels at hiding my stitches and stuff, but I'm just, yeah, it's really a chore for me, but, yeah, so like I said, I have some friends that maybe could help me out and maybe could help put an applique on it or something. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you too long. I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to show you how our couple days went to the Lancaster Quilt Show and, you know, some of the things that we're creating in here. Every day I'm doing something, and every day is usually busy in here because somebody always is here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all you new subscribers that have subscribed to my channel. My channel is growing and I love it. Let me know what you want to see. You know, I'm an open book. You know, I just like to share my creativity and, you know, maybe give you some new ideas. So take care for now. I'll chat at you next time. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't been here before. All right, take care. Have a great night.